My name is Andreas Gröninger and I'm head of services and delivery at Climeon. Today we're standing at one of our production facilities. This one is located in the city of Norrköping in Sweden. The production capacity is split up on these two different production sites. This site is more for prototyping and different variant configurations, while the other site is more on scale production. The delivery time is between 6 to 12 months, depending on what market we are shipping the product to. This Climeon machine is quite similar to an ORC, but there are some significant differences. One of the main differences between our machine and a normal ORC machine is that we work with vacuum. This means that we can make the machine much more compact than other technologies. The efficiency of our machine is basically double of what you can achieve from other machines, aiming at the same temperature intervals.
The Climeon machine contains all components needed to extract electricity from waste heat. The heat exchanger for condensation and to extract the energy from hot water. Each Climeon unit has an electrical output of 150 kilowatts, and we have a modular concept so you can stack several modules next to each other to get a higher electricity output.
We are certifying our technology for different markets such as CE, Lloyd's Register, etc. Meaning that for the different markets we enter, we have all the certifications required. In our machine, we use a working fluid that have its characteristics similar to an alcohol, meaning that we can work in a slightly different way from competitors. Our technology is based on modularity, and we thought about modularity from the start when designing the product. Several modules, as the one we see here behind me, can be stacked next to each other, building a larger system, handling larger amounts of waste heat. Our machine comes in two different configurations. One configuration for land-based applications and one configuration for marine application. The capacity of one of these modules is 150 kilowatts. Depending on what configuration you want, it's either land-based or for marine. You can buy one module or several modules and stack them next to each other. It's all based on modularity.
Prior to shipping our units, we always perform a factory acceptance test here at our production site. The units can either be shipped as is or in components, allowing for a retrofit if you have a small installation area. Climeon's scope of supply includes the units and the electrical cabinets and all the cabling that is needed between the two. Basically, this is the limit at the units from which Climeon supplies. So external pumps, if needed, are not included in the scope of supply. However, the size of the pumps you need for our units is a lot less than you would need for a traditional ORC because it's more efficient. When choosing a site to install the machine, you should consider the service area needed in front and in the back of the machine, the distance between the main unit and the electrical cabinets, also the distance to the heat source and to the cooling source, and also the ambient conditions in which the machine will be placed. If you need to change the side of the machine, that is possible. You can just disconnect everything in the back and simply lift it with a forklift.
The machine requires heating and cooling in order to perform. Regarding cooling, you can choose either having cooling towers, creating the cold water that you need, or you can use other kind of cold water that might be available at the site.
To install the units, you need cold water and hot water. So the cold water piping is the one you can see here. It's a DN125 dimension. This is the inlet and this is the outlet. The typical flow for the cold water is 25 to 30 liters per second at a temperature between 0 and 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. And the pressure that we allow is up to 6 bar, and we recommend around 3 to 4 bars. In the back you can see the hot water connections. The upper side is the inlet. It's also DN125 piping. And the maximum allowed pressure there is 10 bar, but we recommend around 6 bars. Typical flow is 25 to 30 liters per second at a temperature between 70 and 120 degrees. If you don't have a water stream that is suitable for direct connection to the unit, you can always utilize a secondary circuit where you heat exchange heat from flue gases or any other type of media. And also, if the pressure is too high in your water stream, you could also use a secondary circuit to heat exchange the media to the water. Cooling is used for condensation within the unit, and you can use different sources for this cooling. It could be wet or dry cooling tower, seawater or similar. If you utilize seawater, you need to think of filtering so that you don't get debris into the heat exchanger. In case you are using a closed circuit water stream, you would not need to clean the heat exchangers. In the cases you are using a less clean water stream, such as seawater, we recommend that you have a backflushing system. This is running the water in reverse direction through the heat exchanger to clean out particles. You can also have a filter before the water enters the heat exchanger to clean out particles and debris. If you want to clean the inside of the heat exchanger, you use cleaning in place, which is a chemical cleaning process which enables you to clean the inside without having to open the heat exchanger. There is also a compressed air inlet, which is used to operate valves within the machine. And there is a ventilation outlet duct, which you need to ventilate the internal cabinet. This is the master control cabinet, which contains the PLC and variable frequency drives for the pumps. So this is kind of the brain of the system. This is the drivetrain cabinet, in which we convert the high frequency voltage from the generator and matches it to the grid frequency and voltage. In this case, it's 400 volts and 50 hertz. So these two cabinets are included in the scope of supply, and also the cables between these cabinets and the Climeon machine. And the distance between the electrical cabinets and the unit should be maximum 50 meters. Apart from the cables between the unit and the electrical cabinets, you could connect the master control cabinet to an external control room or similar. There we can provide different communications buses, such as Modbus or Profibus or any other type of bus. From the drivetrain cabinet, you need a mains connection to a regular switchgear. In case you are using external pumps and valves, etc. for your integration, these can be connected to the electrical cabinets to control them from the PLC.
So the typical timeline of an installation project at the customer site is as follows. When we start producing the module at our production facility, you start preparing your site. Once we have performed factory acceptance testing and everything looks fine, we will ship the module to you, and once we deliver the module to your site, it will be installed and commissioning will start. The lead time between delivery to end of commissioning is normally 1 month. So what we see here behind me is sophisticated hardware, but to run it you need sophisticated software. Climeon Live is the software that controls our technology and is split on the PLC system and the cloud-based monitoring system. All operational data is logged by Climeon Live. If you have an internet connection, you can follow all that operational data in real time to monitor on the machine. If you don't have an internet connection, all the information is stored in the machine and you can download it later on. Due to the fact that Climeon Live is connected to the internet and we can monitor all the operational data in one machine together with all other machines installed throughout the world, we are able to trim the algorithms all the time and making sure that all customers have the latest software as efficiently as possible at every point of time.